Headed west on I-10, headed to San Antonio, Texas. Just outside of San Antonio, a little place nestled away, Rebecca Creek Distillery. Oh, what a fine whiskey. We're going to go up there and talk to those guys, get a little history lesson from them, hopefully even get to try a few samples. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Voice of Texas Hunting. I'm your host, Jerison, and today I'm just outside of San Antonio, Texas. Or I guess technically still inside, I don't know. But I'm close to San Antonio either way, at a really cool place, Rebecca Creek Distillery. And today, Mr. Steve Ison has invited us in, and he's already kind of let us go through all the goodies, and we're sitting now at the beautiful bar. I'm probably going to have a sample here in a little bit, not going to lie. But Steve's going to tell us some good stuff about this place, and it really intrigues me because I've been a whiskey consumer since I was 21, and I've always leaned towards the Canadian whiskey because it's everywhere, and it's kind of like, hey, that's what my dad drank, your dad drank it, you know, that's just what you did.
Yep.
But a few years ago, I had some hunters come to hunt with me at my lodge, and they brought a bottle of Rebecca Creek, and I'd never heard of it or seen it before. The guy says, hey man, try this. Yeah, I'm not scared of any whiskey. I'll try it. I was blown away. I mean, blown away. I was like, dude, this is so good. What is this? He's like, well, it's Rebecca Creek. It's made here in Texas. I'm like, whiskey's not made in Texas. Oh, yeah, it is. And we argued for a while. And but now, a few years later, I see it everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, you guys have just seemed to be blowing it out of the park.
25 states now.
25 states?
Yeah.
In how long?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
That's got to be like a record or something. I mean, that seems...
It's little by little, you know.
Wow.
We'd like to be in every state, but
yeah,
the dollar's only stretched so far. So
yeah,
it's going to go slow.
Well, and you showed me around earlier, and hopefully we'll have some video playing of that, but you were showing me around. Your distillery seems kind of small to me. Not that I know anything about distilling, but it seems small for the quantity you're putting out.
Right.
How does that... How are you doing that? I mean, how does that even possible?
It's people say that, oh, I thought it'd be some big, huge factory, and it's not. I mean, we can, with the technology today, we can crank it out in a small, confined space and just bust it out. And so we can probably produce about 130,000 cases a year out of there. And last year we finished right under 100, so we'll hit that this year. And so, but it goes nonstop, 7 days a week.
And you have one still?
One still, correct.
You're doing all that from one giant still.
Another one's on the way.
Oh, really? From the same place?
Yeah, Germany.
From Germany.
Yeah.
Now, I told you this earlier. I'd listened to a podcast with you on it because I wanted to get a little background and kind of figure out who I'm going to be talking with. But you said when you got that still, it had to be, I'm sure it was more than my house, her house, and everybody's house put together. But when it got here, you were on a budget. I mean, you're pinching pennies at that point, trying to get this thing up and running. And you didn't want to call riggers in, because riggers are costly. A rigger, in case anybody doesn't know, is like they have big cranes and forklifts, and they know what they're doing. They move machinery and stuff for a living. So you guys decided to do it on your own, and how did that pan out?
Yeah, not too well. We did it the Redneck way. Yeah, we got a forklift, and we rolled on the forklift. It came in a big 18-wheeler, and the first thing was the big bubble, the big pot still.
Yeah.
And we pulled on the fork, and it literally, right when we got it off, it rolled off and bounced like 2-3 times in the parking lot. So I call it the first whiskey dent. You know, when you have whiskey dent in your car,
I've got some
late night, you
at the ranch.
bump into the trash can. You hit a couple things, you know.
Things happen.
So that's the first whiskey dent, but it built some character.
Yeah.
I literally got to my knees and cried. I thought we broke it, and we're out of business, and I spent all my money, and it was pretty sad. But, you know, about 2 weeks later, we cranked it up. It worked like a charm. So.
That's awesome. And now you have that cool story.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd probably rather go without the story, but you've got it now.
Part of it. It's part of what.
And I asked you about it when we were back by the still, and you said, well, it's on the back side. So you can't really see it.
Yeah.
But if you know about it, then then you know about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. And then it's all copper.
Yep.
Is that normal?
We went the expensive route.
Okay.
So you can do it stainless steel.
Yeah.
But we went the copper route, and got about this much copper in it all the way around.
You're
It was
kidding
hand
me.
built. It took 6 months to build that by hand, and then 6 months to ship it here. So you have to like order that way in advance. Wow. But yeah, it's the Germans have great engineering. It just cranks out. We've had zero problems with that still, so it's been pretty phenomenal.
Well, that's amazing. Well, that helps the business run a little smoother when your equipment works
All
right.
the other equipment broke.
All the stuff that was made here in the States
Still,
broke.
it keeps on going like the Energizer Bunny. It goes
That is so
nonstop.
great. And how do you heat that?
We have boilers that heat it.
You do? Okay.
Big boiler in the back
Very
that heats it up.
Now, when you started with, I assume, just what I always refer to as the standard issue Rebecca Creek, right?
Yeah, no, the project was always about the whiskey.
Right.
Whiskey's a terrible business model. You literally buy all your ingredients, you buy all your equipment, everything is up front. You pay it all up front, you make it, and you put it in a barrel and you watch it for 3 years till you can even use it. And you pay taxes on it. Terrible business model.
Every year you're paying taxes on it, or
every
just
year,
one
yeah.
time?
Every year, yeah.
Oh,
so we had to make something to pay the bills, so we started with vodka. So we got in the vodka business real fast.
It's a shorter process.
And then started, for cash flow reasons.
Sure.
So we started out with Enchanted Rock was our first product.
Oh, it was?
We were making Rebecca Creek, but just wasn't ready yet.
Right. You were making Rebecca Creek, but it wasn't Rebecca Creek just yet.
No, we're just making it every day as we go. But like I said, it takes about 3 years to get in the whiskey business.
Wow. That's got to be rough.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's why there's not too many whiskey distilleries out there. They lose money the first 5 years just trying to get going. So, vodka helps really balance the business out.
Yeah.
So.
I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, you probably dumped your life savings into this, but you probably reached out to some investors or something.
Yeah, I had to raise capital.
Sure.
All the expensive expenditures around here, and then the thing it was on raise the capital, there wasn't a whole much money left for marketing, and that's probably the most important thing. I had a Ferrari in there cranking out the booze, but if you can't go market it, so we had to learn real quick how to adapt.
Right.
And I call it redneck marketing, where we just any tailgate, barbecue, show up, sample people, tell the story. It's kind of how we got started.
Just beat that dead horse till it gets out there.
Everywhere. I mean, I sit up on the sidewalk in Austin, Texas, and just sample 3,000 people in front of a UT game, and everybody had to hear me tell a story. And so,
the story's cool.
Yeah, that's how we did it. So,
and the whiskey's so good. I don't know why I keep saying that, but it is. So I could see how the sampling would really get people hooked pretty quick.
yeah.
So that's genius. I mean, you didn't have money for marketing, but you made it work. And not only did you make it work, you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, long, slow process, but
sure.
But the reason why we did the project is because I've always wanted to get in the liquor business, but didn't really know how. And I had some friends at the distributorship that we're with, that I went to college with, and they go, "Hey, if you can ever make a whiskey in Texas, you'll kill it." And another vodka, because there's only one vodka at the time. This is 9 years ago.
Okay.
And there was no whiskeys either back then, made in Texas. And so they said, if you can make a local product with whiskey, you're going to have a great shot.
Well, us Texans are proud.
Yeah.
We're very proud people, and we love to support local.
Yeah.
And it makes it so much easier to support local people when it's whiskey and it tastes so good.
Yeah.
So how long is your standard Rebecca Creek aged? And how is it aged? What barrels
so
are you
it's
using?
it's aged. The average age, it's a blend. Rebecca Creek is a blend.
Okay.
So we've got other additions. We have Rebecca Creek small batch bourbon. That's a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old combined together. Strictly bourbon, 90 proof, high rye.
Oh wow.
But regular Rebecca Creek, it's about average age is 6 years on the blends of the bourbons in there.
Okay. And the Rebecca Creek is considered a whiskey.
Correct.
Right.
So it's a blended whiskey.
All bourbons are whiskey, but not all whiskeys are bourbon?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Very interesting. Tell us about the other ones. Now this is my favorite.
Yep. You said you mentioned you like the Canadian style.
Yep.
And so that being said, we went out and we wanted a sweeter alternative to Rebecca Creek.
It's sweet.
And it's so big right now with sweet whiskey in Texas that Crown Royal is so huge. We said, let's go after that demographic.
Right.
And let's go after that sweet spot. So that's kind of what we did.
Oh, and you
with
nailed
Texas
it.
Rangers. So it's one extreme to the other. They're both blended whiskeys, but complete. This is for your old style bourbon style blended whiskey, and this is more of a Canadian style. So it's completely different spectrums, but
It's so weird
big
when you say
demographic.
that. That never hit me. But the Texas Ranger is my favorite.
Yep.
And now that you say that, I'm like,
Yeah, it's got the vanilla caramel. It's got the nuts.
it does. Yes, it's a lot of flavor to it.
So we figure we attack both sides of the market. Get the sweet whiskey drinkers, and then get traditional bourbon drinkers with Rebecca Creek, and
Oh, you nailed it.
put a good din in
You
it,
definitely nailed it. And now you have flavored vodka?
Correct. Well, we have regular vodka and Shannon Rock, and then we have a peach flavored vodka that we came out with about 6 years ago, and it's been growing every year.
Wow.
But Texas Ranger, we just introduced some flavors as well. So peanut butter cup, coconut pecan, and peach. And so those flavors are just taking off in the bars as they reopen. I call it the babies. The babies like to shoot them.
Yeah.
And so we're getting a lot of play with flavored whiskey. I never thought I'd be in the flavored whiskey business ever in my life. Pretty traditionalist, but you know what?
Yeah, if it pays
I
bills.
saw a need, and we said, let's go for it. So
Yeah.
it's our fastest growing brand right now.
I actually bought a bottle of the pecan.
Coconut pecan.
The coconut pecan just last weekend.
Yeah.
We were down at the river.
Yeah, perfect sipping,
Oh,
old fashioned. So
beautiful.
we're having fun with those.
Too cool. Too cool. I was going to ask you about last year. Last year was a big struggle for so many people.
Yep.
Like in my business, I obviously do the podcast and stuff, but I also have a hunting operation, and it did affect me a little bit. People were a little leery about coming out, but I noticed a lot of retail businesses were just, a lot of them went under.
Yep.
They just couldn't hold above water. Now, I'm confused about whiskey, because to me, I'm thinking, well, everybody was at home, and I know a lot of people were drinking.
Yep.
But then again, nobody was going out to bars or restaurants and things like that. How did it affect you guys? Or did it?
Yeah, a couple ways. It had a huge surge. People were stocking their pantries.
Yeah.
They couldn't go to the restaurant and bars. And so that caused a big influx of retail buying. So us, and along with a lot of other brands, were way up, from that.
Wow.
Because it was, there's nowhere to go. Even cocktails to go were not even there yet. So
Yeah.
that's had a big impact. So it impacted us in a great way. But we weren't able to market, like we usually do. We do probably about 1,800 events a year, from tailgates to barbecue cook-offs to anywhere we can go and sling the booze, I call it.
Sure.
And that all came to a halt. So we're kind of just sitting around like, how do we market? We didn't really have to because it went up, but anyways, we had to get creative, and so we did some other things, some charitable things that we worked in within the last year.
Okay.
First, we did like a telethon. So we did a music series telethon, and we had Wade Bowen, we had Jack Ingram as MC, we had a bunch of big artists that we had streamed from their houses, and they played 5-6 songs. And so we're raising money for Meals on Wheels. And it ended up being a huge success. And it got national news.
How awesome
So
is
we
that?
did that. We raised money, and then so that was our marketing all through the social media part. And also we pivoted and we started making hand sanitizer, because as you know, it was all around the place, all over the world. And we literally got in that business in about 3 weeks. I mean, we make ethanol alcohol every day. So
Right.
we just got some ingredients, we figured out how to make it, and we started cranking it out. And we literally got about 600 calls a week for hand sanitizer, 600. I had to hire 3 ladies in the office just to take the orders. And but at first I said, I don't want to sell any of it. I want to give it all the first responders, people that need it the most.
Sure.
And so we went out and solicited, Fort Worth, Dallas, Lubbock, all the city, the counties, the emergency systems within there. And I said, if y'all can come down here, I'll give you all the sanitizers you want. So they were sending trucks down, and we were just giving it to them for free. And
Wow.
So anyway, and we did that, and then finally the city of San Antonio, they came and they bought some from us, and they gave it out to, the businesses that were opening, about a year ago. And so
That's awesome.
anyway, so we got a little bit of revenue stream from that.
But for the most part, you gave it away.
Gave it all away, yeah.
And that just doesn't do anything but build good karma, right?
Yeah, it was a good, and we were happy to do it, and so got
That's
some
great.
good publicity.
And I assume you had like a cool looking label on the bottle?
Yeah, it was totally different. It was called Love Distilled. We just made up a new brand for it.
Yeah.
And, it was an interesting project, and now all we do is just give it out to our restaurant and bar customers for free.
Oh, great.
So we're in and out of that business pretty quick.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah.
But at the distillery here, we host concerts, and so we were closed down like everybody else.
Oh,
and
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so we have 40,000 people rolling through here a year, pre-COVID, and so we lost all that revenue. So we had to switch around. And
is that bouncing back for you now?
Yeah, it's raging back. It's going really good right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, you do have a really cool looking stage outside, and we'll show some footage of that because it's just too neat. The whiskey barrels are everywhere, and a big Rebecca Creek, big Texas flag because we're all proud, right? But you have someone playing pretty regular.
Yeah, so we're big tied into Texas country, red dirt.
Yes.
So that being said, we've got a lot of artists that we sponsor, from the little guys to the big guys. We own a radio station called Rebecca Creek Radio. It's on iHeart. It's on Apple Music, and it's all Texas red dirt, artists that play there.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I will tune in now, though.
So now being said, we have artists that we have access to. So we book them out at our distillery Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so we have live music out here usually about 4 days out of the week.
That's awesome. How did you come about this location?
Yeah, when I was looking for the project, when I was looking, to build a distillery, I was trying to find the right place, and it was like '09, and the crash hit. And this building was empty for like 3 years, and so it came in as a big old for lease sign, and I just went and lowballed the landlord, and he was more than willing to give it to me at a good price.
Wow!
And then so we just took that and started building it out.
Are you currently still leasing here?
No, we own it now.
Oh, you own it now?
All the buildings and everything in here. And we're out of room. Like I was telling you, the capacity is used. I mean, we're literally in the parking lot. I mean, we are in the parking lot. It's embarrassing. But good problem to have.
Good problems, exactly.
So we're right in the middle of looking for a new spot. We're going to be moving. It's going to be 5 times the size.
Wow.
So we're going to have an amphitheater. We're going to have a music recording studio for a lot of new coming artists that will record their music for free. And so just a whole destination.
That is too cool. Such a neat idea. I mean, you're giving back, but it's only going to come back tenfold, right?
Yeah. I mean, we love to partner in music because whoever's in charge of the mic controls the crowd. Holler and swaller, I say. And then, then you got some whiskey sold,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Wow.
But our brands fit perfectly with your brand. It's just, we're all of us are outdoorsmen, hunting and fishing, and so it just. All the things that we do, it kind of goes in that demographic and stuff. And
yeah,
so
well, I can tell you that Rebecca Creek and especially the Texas Ranger is a staple at our ranch now.
Yeah.
And it was just sheer coincidence, but I'm not going without it now, right?
Yep.
So speaking of hunting, I can only assume that you do hunt, or at least used to hunt. Probably don't have time now, but
yeah. I mean, hunting. My partner really hunts. He goes all over the world and gets the big trophies. But, Steve Ryan, my partner. But I like to go. I like deer camp. So I like to go deer camp. I love to sit by the fire and sip whiskey and relax. That's my therapy.
Right.
And I like to dove hunt and stuff and fish and I'll deer hunt too if someone lets me piggyback. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's just the outdoors and it just fits our brand so perfectly and stuff.
Right.
So
it's almost like you have to.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Sitting around a campfire with a glass of whiskey, sipping on it, telling lies and stories, and it's hard to beat that.
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that. So, do you have any upcoming projects that you could tell us about, or maybe beat around the bush?
Yeah, I mean, upcoming projects is the new distillery.
Okay.
We're working hard.
But you still don't know where.
It's going to be real close. We got a couple lands picked out. We're in a big fundraising effort right now.
I would imagine real estate's changed its value.
Oh yeah. You thought you could get a deal with it with COVID, and now it's gone way up. So it's just it's changed a lot. But
it has.
We locked in on some land, and so we're trying to. As soon as we get the funding ready to go, we're gonna. So that's the whole new project. But the main thing now is all the states are opening back up, and so I'm finally able to get on a plane and go. Expand the brands, and so now we're like in New York, and we're in Tennessee, and so I've been going to those markets, and I do a lot of bottle signings where I'll sign bottles in liquor stores, and so I'm getting to do that again, which I really love to do. I hate being in the office. So I'm going to be out and meeting folks, telling the story, and sharing the good cheer.
How receptive are other states? And does the Texas thing even cross their mind, or are they kind of like, it's just good whiskey, I want it?
No, It's an education process on the whiskey. It's because it's like, oh, you're not from Kentucky or Tennessee. Oh,
Right, it doesn't count.
yeah. So it takes a while to build that. On the vodka side, it's different. It's like Texas is known for their vodka.
I was going to say that's kind of a thing now.
It's known for their vodka. So any new place we go, we said, hey, we're from Texas. Oh yeah, we'll take it. Texas sells. Texas sells. Whiskey's still more a challenge education, but once they try it, they're like, oh yeah. So it's a little harder to sell, I guess.
Okay.
Just like Texas vodka was a hard sell 10 years ago, now it's the dominant. So it's just a building process, but we're doing it one ball at a time.
I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see how people would think Kentucky, Tennessee.
But we were in Nashville last week, and we sold more whiskey at some ball signings than they ever dreamed that we would sell. And so,
you're kidding
me.
Once
they try it, it's like, oh, why? Yeah, oh, yeah. So you just got to get in their mouths.
That's true. That's true. No, because I'm not going to lie to you. The first time I saw it, and I was like, I don't know. Yeah. It's not Canadian. It's not Kentucky.
Yeah. It's just set in their head.
It is. It really is.
You
have to get past
shake them up.
Yeah.
Get them to try new things.
But you're right. Once you put any of this in your mouth, it's easy sell then.
Yeah.
Easy sell. That's great. So I assume now, though, you do have a marketing team.
Yes. Yeah.
You're not just a guy out there beating down
I've got some
doors
help.
anymore.
I've got some help. Yeah.
Good.
And so we're hitting them on all angles. A lot of social media stuff. And
that's a big deal.
Trying to market ourselves.
I assume social media is a huge thing for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, especially with COVID, nothing was open.
Yeah.
It's the only way to really touch people. So
right. Well, and it seems today that social media just kind of rules the world.
Yep.
I mean, if you're not busy, you're on your phone.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely changed a lot since we first started.
It has. It really, really has. So I'm looking outside now. Obviously, you guys can't see this, but I see cases or pallets and pallets and pallets of bottles. These look like half-gallon bottles, and they're all sitting in front of this door, and I hear a bunch of ruckus and noise in there. Those guys are just full-on
cranking out,
filling bottles and
distilling, filling bottles, put it in boxes, and get it out the door.
But it didn't seem like a lot of people.
Yep.
How many people are back here?
We got like 15.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
Yep. So really the cool thing is back in the day, we used to, the truck would come about every 4 months to pick up the product. But it was like a little pump truck, and it would come, and we were all excited because we were going to get paid.
Right.
And so about every 3 months it would come pick up. But now I had 18-wheelers out here the other day, all lined up. I was like, damn, we come.
Lot?
Oh, all up and down the street. So I was like, we came a long way. So now that's like a regular thing.
How often is that?
There's
weekly?
4 or 5, 6 a day. I mean, coming and going. We bring glass or taking it out. So
that's too cool. Wow. So these bottles come in, obviously empty, no label, no lid, anything like that. What's the process of going from sitting on this pallet to sitting on another pallet ready to go?
Yeah, it's just, that starts off with the balls and unload them and get them labeled, and then we fill them. First we have air that shoots in and out, gets all the particles out of the bottle.
Stuff, yeah.
And then we fill it, we cap it, and then we put it in the boxes and the pallet ties it up and then get out the door. So they can
you make it sound so simple, though.
They can do about 12 pallets a day. 12 pallets a day. And there's probably
and it's not automated,
45 cases. Not
very little of it's automated. Like I saw you have maybe some conveyors going to fill bottles, but
yeah, all the labor is like put them in the boxes and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I think right now I want to say you had a big spool and big label thing that was spitting out labels, and it appeared to be a vodka label.
Yep.
That's what's going on today.
Yeah.
How often do you bottle the whiskey?
It's like we switch off whiskey vodka. So we're always constantly changing out tanks.
Yeah.
And when it's ready, kind of put it out and get it cranked out.
And when we were looking at still earlier, I'd asked you, is it running? Because I don't know what a still running looks like or sounds like. And you said, oh, no, not right now. We're cleaning it, getting ready for the next run. Yeah. What's next?
Yeah, they're going to do a whiskey run on it.
Whiskey run. Mm-hmm. So they just got, well, I guess they're bottling vodka now, so that means they just got done with vodka.
Start and then whenever making whiskey, you can just smell the corn, and it smells so good in there when they're bringing out the whiskey.
It does. Oh man, now I got to come back when you're doing that. Okay, or are you from?
I'm from San Antonio. Yep.
You are from San Antonio. So
went to Texas State.
Oh, okay.
So pretty much Texas all my life.
And I want to say I heard you in another interview. You were in insurance?
Yeah, me and my family have an insurance business, commercial insurance business.
Okay.
My dad started in the early '70s, and
Oh, wow.
me and my brother kind of run that. Took it, to,
Do you
took it
still
up.
have it?
So I still own half of it. My brother pretty much runs it now.
Right.
So there's not a lot of time to do both.
Yeah, I would imagine this takes up quite a bit of your time.
But all my insurance vendors, they have these big elaborate parties, so it's good crossover because they just stock their bars with our products, so that helps.
Now, like you were saying, you have a lot of events here, and you've got this bar set up, and there's, I mean, it looks beautiful. I just want to go back there and start drinking. How does that work? Can people come in? I assume they can take a tour.
Yep.
They can sit around, listen to music. They can come in here and buy a drink. Or...
Yeah, they check in, and the tours are getting back going again. They'll be going every hour.
Oh, wow, every
so
hour.
It's like a 30-minute tour, or 20-minute tour, and taking through all the processes and stuff. And then they can get a cocktail or maybe a couple cocktails as many as they want after that.
Okay.
And then the music will get going, and so, but just have constant flow of people coming in and out. A lot of corporate parties are here too.
Okay. Yeah, Texas Trophy Hunters, we had a membership drive here one evening. It was so cool.
Yep.
Music was going, people were walking around, shooting a breeze, having a cocktail. It was just really, really cool.
Yep.
You've got dartboards out there, you've got cornhole, and there's the food. Is that like that's not directly tied in with you guys?
Yeah,
we have
a
vendor.
Yeah, we have a vendor that he's in house, and he just works for us.
Now I remember the food being awesome.
Yeah, it's great barbecue.
Yeah.
Tommy's barbecue.
Tommy's
Yeah,
barbecue.
really good.
Okay. Now again, the music is Thursday,
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Sunday. What times are they?
Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 5, and then Thursdays from like 5 to like 8, 5 to 9.
Okay.
And Friday, 5 to 9.
So it's not going to keep you out all night, but it's a good way to get away from the house,
Yep.
maybe get away from the kids for a little bit.
Saturdays just extended to 10 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Okay. But I assume you can't go too late, just noise ordinances or something.
Yeah, just, we don't want to be like a bar, we want people to enjoy it and then go home at a reasonable hour.
Sure. And you have a lot of product in here. I mean, you've got hats, shirts. I mean, you've got this is a Game Guard shirt. Yep. I see racks of Game Guards. So you have some sort of collaboration?
Yeah. We partner together. We partner together and use their stuff for a lot of our hunting and fishing shirts.
Yeah, because they're local too. Mm-hmm. Very neat. You've even got candles and glasses and you started here and just
yeah.
That's too cool. Too cool. I love it. I see some freezers here.
Yeah, so we another partnership. We partnered with Tootie Pie, another local company out of Bernie, and they make amazing pies. And so we give them our products to infuse. And
Wait a minute. Hold the phone.
There's a Rebecca Creek chocolate pecan pie
in that freezer.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a Texas Ranger apple pie, and then so just the infusions, and they sell them. And it's funny because the Neiman Marcus has a holiday guide, and we're in that holiday guide with the pie.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Wow. Oh, if my mom finds out it was in Neiman Marcus, she's gonna be beating down the doors and buying the whole freezer. That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna try one of those too. And it looks like maybe it's a whole pie. There's no cookies.
No cookies, yeah.
Cookies sound good though, right?
Yeah.
I've had a cookie or two in my day. Well, guys, Steve, I can't thank you enough for this. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you taking your time out for us. It's been a blast hanging out with you, seeing the distillery, seeing everything. There's so much to look at in such a small space.
Yep.
And it's amazing to see what you've done with this place in a relatively short amount of time. And I don't know your budget, but it sounds like you had a budget and you made it work.
Yeah, just one penny at a time.
That's right.
So
right, and I love your analogies, doing it the redneck way.
Yep.
Hey, we're from Texas, right?
Yep.
You're gonna put duct tape, baling wire on it.
Oh yeah.
And if that doesn't work, if it needs to be loose, spray some WD-40 on it.
Yep. But we appreciate the partnership with you and with you guys, and we'd love to continue on with you guys.
The honor's
it's
ours. Outstanding.
It's a perfect match.
It is, right? Right. Well, guys, I cannot recommend the whiskey enough, and I'm seriously not just saying that because I'm sitting here with the first employee, but it's so good. Like I said, this is my favorite because I do prefer a sweeter whiskey, but they're all outstanding. So for now, I'm going to let Steve get back to his employees. I know he's got money to make, and I think I'm going to step behind the bar and get me a little sip. We appreciate you joining the Voice of Texas Hunting. We'll see you later.